The most common question I get asked when I tell someone I run is why. Whether you run a 5k or 100 miles, why? Why do we put ourselves through something that which after you run, you'll probably not even be able to walk? People run for all different reasons, whether you're just starting out with a 5k or a seasoned runner doing ultra marathons. So let's take a marathon for instance. So most people running a 16-week training plan will run 500 plus miles. Now most marathons take place in spring, so that means running through the winter. And here in the UK, that means cold, wet mornings and early dark nights. On race day, on average, most people run a marathon within 3 to 5 hours. That's 3 to 5 hours of running. So you can understand why your non-running friends ask, why do you run? So we've just had the London Marathon and the ballot is open for next year. People entering inspired by this year's runners, not sure what to expect or the training involved. I was lucky enough to run the London Marathon in 2014, one of my top 10 running experiences in over 30 years of running. The crowds, atmosphere and landmarks make it truly special. Seeing my family at mile 25 on the embankment has to be one of the most cherished memories I have. Running down the Mall in front of Buckingham Palace to the finish line is something I'll never forget. So you stand there at the start line, full of worry, excitement, fear of the unknown. That's when you got to trust your training. The early morning runs, long runs at the weekends, when you got to trust it. That took me some time to figure out. Then you finish your race, whatever distance you've chosen, and you suddenly realise that distance that you thought you could never run, you've just smashed it. So then, that's when it starts. That's when you start looking at the next race, the bigger distances, the next adventure. And that's when running becomes addictive. I started running at school. When everyone else hated cross country, I loved it. The one thing I could do, and I was half decent at. I ran for the school, then the county. Later, I joined a running club, road running, chasing PB after PB with like-minded people. Then, older, but not much wiser, I started running trails. I now run solo ventures and currently training for a 50-mile route over the Pennines. But I'll run it when I want to. There's no time scale, there's no date to run it. I don't enter that many races now, but there's still plenty of races and distances left on my bucket list. That's what I mean, there's always another race, there's always another distance. That's why it's addictive. We all run for different reasons, and as we progress in our running journeys, with different races and distances, over time that reason changes. I started running to escape the constant bullying, to feel I was good at something, then at club level to meet like-minded people, chasing PBs and trying to prove something to myself. Now I reconnected with running, to do something to switch off and enjoy, to get away from the daily grind. The thing I love about running is the accessibility. Wherever I've gone for work or on holiday, I've always took a pair of running shoes, a pair of shorts, and been able to go for a run. What other sport can you do that? So why do we run? Well, that's $1 million question, and I don't think I'm qualified to answer it. But the one thing I can say is that anyone watching this will know why you started running. Now trust the process, train well, and enjoy it.